Hello and welcome to StartupTV and our special edition of 60 Seconds. It's kind of an anniversary. We have our 10th show since we started in November. We are broadcasting every week live from Space Check Co-working here in Berlin, Schöneberg. And today, like I said, we have a special edition. We visit the IoT conference, Touching Innovation, and Maggie and the team joined the conferences and talked with the most interesting startups. So check it out.
Hey guys, StartupTV here. My name is Maggie and you're watching 60 Seconds. We are broadcasting live every Friday from Space Check Co-working Center in Berlin. This week, however, we try to spice things a little bit up and we came to Touching Innovations conference. It's the Startup IoT conference and we invited 5 startups to pitch on our show. The first founder is already here. His name is Stanislav Meyer and he is the founder of Hypercard. He's going to tell us more about his startup in 60 seconds. So if you're ready, your 60 seconds starts now.
Okay, thank you very much. So Hypercard is doing a shopping experience for real-world retail supermarket, what we all know from the online shop experience from e-commerce. So what we are doing is we have a tablet on the shopping cart. The tablet is scanning your product by tossing in the product into the cart, and you can walk out after you are done. You can walk out from the supermarket, and you don't need to stay in the queue to pay it. It will be paid into the app. On the way to the checkout, we give you a recommendation, we give you deals and a lot of information with the voice assistant to manage your shopping experience into the retail world. On the other hand, we give to the retailer and to the brands the data about the customer, how they do the shopping, what is their shopping behavior. We do the segmentation for the marketing. On that way, we increase the average order basket into the retail world, and we decrease the personnel costs.
Okay, thank you very much. It sounds interesting. When can we expect this to be on the market and in use?
We plan this year the first pilot in a German supermarket. After the first pilot, we're going to roll it out to other supermarket chains and into this supermarket chain as well. So this year.
So what does it mean for the consumer? Do I have to have an app and an Apple Pay, or how
you can use, usually the supermarket do already have apps, and you can use your account from those apps. So it's no need to create new apps and so on, but you can also check out as a guest by paying your credit card and so on and so on. It's just to filling in the data.
So that was Hypercard. If you want to learn more about them, then vote for them in a comment. Just leave the name. And I have already the next startup sitting next to me. It's Philip Aitchison from Imagine Intelligent Materials. And he's going to tell us more about his startup in 60 seconds. So if you're ready, your 60 seconds starts now.
Do I hold this? Do you hold that? Okay. So Imagine is a startup company based on graphene to create smart materials. We then extract information from the smart materials to create large area sensors. We started in Australia, so we're a material science out of Australia. We've recently set up operations in Finland, where we have digital signal processing engineers. Our focus is on large area sensing. So what we create are floors, for example, roads, mining areas, where we can extract information over large areas. The graphene enables us to extract the information, but the value comes in the signal processing, because that tells us what's happening there. Our advantage really is cost. So we can do large area sensing at low cost. Depending on the applications, it ranges, but it's a very cost-effective way of getting information. We started 5 years ago in Australia. The technology was based around graphene. There's a lot of expertise in Australia on graphene, but the value that comes from the signal processing is where the company value is going now. And this is what we're doing here in Europe. We're helping build the value and understanding what the applications are, where the information goes. We're creating our own cloud structures and partnerships as well, and identifying who the real value, where the customers who have real value in this kind of application are.
It was your 60 seconds. So could you maybe tell us more about the use case? What specific use cases you can use it for, and what data are you collecting?
Yeah, so a good example is smart floors. So we can put our textiles underneath the floor, so a normal floor can go on top of it. We then extract where someone is. Are they stepping? How are they walking? Did they fall over, for example? So in some cases, in aged care and healthcare, we can tell what's going on in a room. No cameras are required. The information is stochastic and statistical, so we don't identify people. We can track events, what's happening, individual ones, but also group events. Some of the applications are in retail, so you can track who's moving around and where inside a shop or a business. Also in manufacturing, so again we have partnerships with Industry 4.0, understanding what's happening in a manufacturing environment, interactions with robots, vehicles, people, all moving in the same space.
All right, so that was it. It was Philip from Imagine Intelligent Materials. As said, if you like the pitch, leave a comment with the name of the company below the video, and maybe at the end of the week he will win a free video from StartupTV. Now I have the next guest sitting next to me. His name is David Maas, and he represents Pantea. So to learn more about them, I will give David now 60 seconds to talk. So if you're ready, you can
I'm
start.
ready. Hi, so my name is David. I'm from Pantea. We're a company based in Berlin and in Paris, and we provide access to live performances like theater, opera, and performances through innovative access solutions. We mostly work with surtitling. Surtitling is like subtitling in film, but live, because we're working with live performances, so every time the timing changes and we have operators following the rhythm of the show, so that every spectator can understand easily what is said on stage. Our solution is helpful for people not understanding the language that is spoken on stage, or for people who are hearing impaired. And we developed several solutions through video projection, modular LEDs, and also these smart glasses that I will put on. And you can then, with these smart glasses, have an individual...
I'm going to have to stop you. Your 60 seconds is over, but I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
So, can you then explain exactly how the glasses work and how big is the market potential in this case?
The glasses work as an individual support. So while you can project the surtitles in English above for everybody, you can have special feeds for hearing impaired, or to see the surtitles in French, Arabic, Chinese, or whatever you want. The market potential is all the people that are hearing impaired, and cultural interested people who want to have access to theater, which was before not an option if you don't understand the language that is spoken on stage.
And I mean, every performance is a little bit different, so the subtitles, do they always fit into the performance? Because like the actors sometimes improvise or change something in the text.
I mean, when the actors improvise, there's nothing we can do, because we prepare the surtitles in advance, but that's why you have humans operating the surtitles to send them at the right moment. I mean, we all know nothing is worse than telling a joke and the people are not laughing, or laughing at the wrong moment, or somebody telling the resolution of the joke just before. So if they improvise on stage, then we go into black, and we're not showing anything. If it's clearly implicated in the show that there's always improvisation in the show, we put something to orient the spectator so that he's not thinking that there's a technical problem. But this is different from show to show.
Okay, thank you, David, for the pitch. That was Pantea. And if you liked the idea, then leave them a comment below the video. I have the next guest next to me. His name is Andreas, and he is representing Lunative. So let's see what the startup is about, and here is your 60 seconds.
Hi. Well, Lunative is a company started 2014 as a startup company integrating wearable technologies into textiles. We had 2 years of R&D development. Meanwhile, we have over 25,000 pieces in the market. Started with Audi as a first customer. So our core and main product is focusing in putting IoT technology wearables into textiles, and we started with light, a light for fashion, light for visibility, for kids, for people doing sports, for corporate, and now the next step is going to be utilizing more smart wearables into textiles.
You have a few more seconds, so you can tell us a few more.
So what we want to do is, besides the light, we are going to incorporate heat elements, smart heat elements. So it's always about smartness. For example, if it's colder than 5 degrees, please turn on the heat automatically in the jacket. If I'm going outside of my car and it's dark, please light up my jacket. Then we incorporate NFC tags into the textile, so we can utilize different kind of use cases for it.
That's your for 60 seconds. Thank you very much. This sounds like a great product and with a lot of use cases. So are you gonna focus on the end customer, or do you want to sell it for, I don't know, specific customers like sports people or yeah?
Yeah. We offer it B2B, so we are going to offer everything we do is B2B, so to the textile brands, to any kind of business customers, and they take it from us and they resell it to the end consumer. So there's no end consumer line from our side.
And could you maybe explain the technical part, how exactly it works, what is the textile made of, is it waterproof, etc.?
Yeah. We don't focus on the textile, we focus on the technology which is being able to incorporate into the textile. So if you take like an electronic cable, we have different kind of technologies from the cable, then it's very difficult to have the technology, it doesn't break, or it has to be washable. And this is something we achieved, and we put it all kind of textiles. But the textile is being depending on the customer.
All right, so thank you, Andreas, for the pitch. That was native. If you like the idea, leave them a comment below the video. And the next startup founder is sitting right next to me. It's Alicia from Crow. And she's going to explain us what Crow is about in 60 seconds. So if you're ready, your 60 seconds start right now.
Okay. So everybody likes to go to the movie to see superheroes, right? And what are the people doing? And those superheroes, they're just raising their hands and performing magic. And when we are looking in the outside world, there's nothing like that. Like, people just use technology in the very old way. They're just typing on keywords, swiping on phone screens, or even pressing buttons, where it's like that. I think it's really time to have a different approach on technology, to intuitively and ergonomically interact with technology in the future. I hate reading manuals. I don't want to deal with all the complicated things. I want to run a jumbo jet just by moving my hand forward, and this is what we're doing now. We created a smart wearable worn on the hand that seamlessly interacts with technology and is making you feel like Superman, Hermione Granger, or Iron Man, so to say. It's 3D printed, it's sustainable, and it will be available soon.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have some more time? Oh, yeah. So that sounds like a great idea, very nice pitch. What are the use cases for it? Where can you use it?
So in general, the vision is that we really think of how we approach technology differently in the future. But of course, you need to bring it down to earth. So what we're doing first is we're starting with B2b use cases. And here we're going in any kind of field where people have a lot of operative efforts and where hands are involved. Let's say if you think of maintenance, when you are thinking of a garage and a car that needs to be maintained, there are tons of hand moves people need to do, and of course it needs to be documented and afterwards digitized. So what they're doing right now is they're taking their board with a piece of paper and going through this to the engine, for example, and making checks then if everything is fine or if something needs to be replaced or cleaned or whatsoever. In the future, this can be all done automatically, simply by hand gestures, by hand moves that are tracked digitally, and then are available to actually also other departments that can do next steps on it.
Thank you, Alicia. Well, good luck to you and Crow. All right, guys, so that was it from Touching Innovations. Thank you for watching, and if you like the pitches, leave them a comment below the video. And now we are going back to the office in Space Shack, where Thomas is going to announce the winner of the last week's show. Thomas?
Thanks, Maggie. That was already the show for today. We had like some interesting startups from the conference, but now we can announce the winner of the last show, and it's the apartment hunting startup Housey. So congratulations for that. We will cover you more in detail with a featured story in the next weeks. And now, don't turn off the live stream. We will present you one of the winners of the last shows, what is Llama, the interviewing app. So we covered them, and here's our special story about them. So see you next week. Bye-bye.
Llama is an interview as a service platform. That means that we help entrepreneurs, creators, and people with cool projects to promote themselves and their projects in a video interview format. And we also help media companies or other platforms to produce video interviews. The product was born targeting founders, entrepreneurs, freelancers, so people that are like independent and they need some like press, so they need to promote themselves somehow. And this is our B2C target, but the B2b target are media companies, so like big publications, small publications, or also platforms such as Xing or LinkedIn, where basically we can help them to produce video interviews on scale. We want to also help them to be like more easygoing because first of all, the video is remote, so they can do it by themselves. But before every interview, we have a short call with them. Our community manager is basically explaining them, giving them some tips, and we really help them to produce the best quality video because, of course, like being a self-made video, not always is a good quality. But we also want to educate founders and people to talk in front of the camera, and we think that doing through an app, like by themselves, is the best way to practice also maybe for public speeches and so on.
Hey, I'm Alex, I'm the co-founder of Llama, and I want to give you a couple of tips how to record a good video interview. Our app allows you to record each answer individually, and we give you 2 minutes per answer. However, we would recommend to keep the answer around about a minute. Try that the source of light is in front of you and not behind you. The sound is really important, so place the phone on a stable position around about an arm length in front of you. The app allows you to record the answers as often as you want. And last tip, try to write bullet points if you want to answer a precise question, and don't write a script and read the script.
Video is the most direct way to present a person. It's also the best way to show the face behind the product or the projects. Moreover, you know the topic of the conversion rates, so if you have video on your website and so on, you definitely increase conversion rates. Videos get shared up to 10 times more on social media platforms and so on. Yeah, so we have a couple of test clients. They are not really media companies, but now we are starting to get in touch with them since we are like part of the next media accelerator. But we're working together now with Kunis.com, so they're very cool guys. Basically, they are a marketplace for modern art. And what we did for them is we helped them to interview their own artists so they can show who they are, and also the galleries so they can show around how they work and so on. So this is like a totally different use case from our own original use case.